Good day, everyone. Father Jared coming to you from our basement here in Freiburg at the rectory, surrounded by Father Sean's tools here and behind me, including his table saw, which he's just begun using. Unfortunately, there's no welder down here, so I can't really do my normal trade, but because if you try to weld wood together, it's a hot mess. It's a fire joke, get it? Sorry, it's really cheesy. But anyways, so today, the reason why I'm down here is because today is the feast of St. Joseph the Worker. So although we have St. Joseph, the spouse of the Blessed Virgin Mary, whose feast day is March 19th, May Day, which was traditionally a communist day in which the worker was held up. And this was a response of the Pope to the Church to this world in which May Day became this day for communism, but instead the Church, by naming this day, May 1st, the feast day of St. Joseph the Worker, the virtue and the dignity of work are held up. And indeed, I think it's one of the beautiful things and one of the wonderful things about being in the northern part of the Archdiocese is that the value of work is very, very much so appreciated. The dignity of work is very much so seen because people love working with their hands. Farmers, factory workers, tradesmen of all sorts, from carpenters to welders to machinists, so on and so forth, and the many, and of course, white-collar jobs as well are very much so upheld as well. Every single job, with the exception of those which are inherently morally just wrong, every job does have its own dignity. And I think that's something that we really need to recapture, because so often it seems like people do not appreciate the dignity of work, do not appreciate the dignity that is given to them to be able to participate in God's creative power. This is actually what takes place in work. If you notice in Genesis, God creates, he forms out of nothing. Out of this formless waste, he creates something. In the same way that an artist or a sculptor might form this beautiful statue out of a piece of marble, so that the carpenter too, out of what is seemingly just boards, turns that into something, a house, cabinets, or so on and so forth. And a farmer, a barren field, turns into a place of a fruitful harvest of corns, beans, so on, so forth again. That whenever we share in the work of God, whenever we share in the dignity of work, what's taking place is we're sharing in his creative power, his ability to take out of a formless waste, out of something that may seem to be, have no form, to have no apparent sort of givenness to it, that in our work we're able to bring about something true, good, and beautiful, something that is useful for men and women. And I think that's a really important thing for us to recapture as a Catholic people, because as you've probably heard me mention many, many times, St. Josemaria Escriva is my favorite saint, and it's something that he wanted to drive home so clearly in his own life, in his own ministry. And it's something I want to drive home to every one of you who are, even if you are quarantined. I think that's one of the hard things about this quarantine, is that people are missing out on the dignity of their work, the dignity of their ability to do what they usually do. But today, even if you are unable to participate in your usual given work, I ask you to rediscover within your own lives, even if it is just doing the laundry, doing the dishes, picking up a hobby like carpentry, just like Father Sean is beginning to do. Just in those things, to rediscover the dignity of work, that we get to participate in God's creative power whenever we do work, whenever we do things like that. And so to each and every one of you out there today, farmers, factory workers, tradesmen of all sorts, nurses, doctors, any job, engineers, go on and on. Each and every one of you out there, I encourage you to rediscover the dignity of your own work, to not view it as a burden, but instead to rediscover the dignity that God has given you in being able to participate in his creative power.